Eminent domain. Can small business owners beat the government? As if you haven't heard of eminent domain, it's the ability for the government to take to basically seize land from you in a for a price that is I guess market rate. But the thing is you kind of have to take it. So and I know actually know a couple of people that have lost their businesses because once they moved or once they sold, they weren't able to find a new place that made sense for their specific business. It's easier to find uh, like a retail, like commercial shop or something like that, retail space. But when you're talking about like in the trucking industry with repair, where you're repairing or selling, and you got to find a place that is accessible for, ease of access plus ease of getting in and out of, it can be very difficult. So, simply put, eminent domain is the right of a government to require the compulsory sale or, in extreme cases, expropriation, I don't know if I said that right, of land by a property owner so public officials can put private property to public use. It's supposed to be for the common good. It's used so governments can build roads or expand its services to a community, but in many cases, individual property owners and the business owners are forced out of their locations, which can cause irreparable harm. In Pennsylvania, for example, the owner of a diner, for more than 35 years, is now facing extinction as the state plans to build a highway through his property. I told them I'm begging to let me keep what I have, says Bill Katsifis. I'm not sure. I'm sorry, Bill, for butchering your name. In neighboring New Jersey, my home state here, a borough plans to use eminent domain to punt a popular local pizzeria in order to make room for a future supermarket chain. The pizza owner, as you can imagine, is not happy. I'm confused how they would make the corner eminent domain. That's what we were trying to understand. We're part of the community. They can't just throw us out in the street. And sometimes it's not even being forced to move. That's the problem. A third-generation Mexican restaurant in San Antonio, Texas, is facing months of sewage smells and potential spills right outside their eatery as a local water utility plans to put a sewage pump station in front of it. It will just drive people away from the stench of it. The owner is contesting the project. How come he, the sewage company's chief executive, didn't choose McDonald's? It's too strong of a company. I'm a small man, end quote. So this article goes in, let's see, so what to do? The answer is to be proactive, not reactive. I found that eminent domain claims by the government usually don't come completely out of the blue. There's oftentimes some advance warning and time allowed to make alternative plans. Many of the clients I have who have faced this situation have also known about the risk for quite some time. You might fight if you've got the resources, but in the majority of the cases, the government will win. So at best, putting up a fight can buy more time. But in the end, if you believe your business is at risk of this, you've got to be ready. You must have a plan. You have to give yourself time to adapt, and you must be prepared to make a change. Now that goes for not just eminent domain, but also like when the illness hit, right? Like we all had to pivot. We all had to figure out like what's our next step. And there's plenty of success stories. There's also stories of people being stuck because they pivoted maybe too hard into a specific niche or niche where they aren't able to pivot out of that now that we're coming into a pre-post pandemic situation where people's buying habits and things have changed. Supply chains is now more constrained, and it creates a real problem for a lot of those businesses. So I think that the real lesson here is just always be prepared. And of course, I'll link this article down below.